Dun, 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 dun. You guys, I don't have any intro music for the podcast yet, so you're gonna get some John Cena intro music instead. That's what yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're doing today. Hey Ben, do you have a second to log into Instagram for me and get that live stream going for me? I totally forgot to fix that before we got started. All right, you guys, this is what we do. I just blah, blah, blah for a couple minutes until we get some people watching. So you're going to listen to me while I get our live streams set up across platforms. Okay, here we go. Thank you for working on that for me, Ben. All right, you guys, you're back here with me, Ericka Reddick at the I Love Your Money podcast. Should we name it something else? I Love Your Money podcast sounds boring. Maybe we should talk to our marketing expert that we're having on the show today. You guys, we're going to have Mr. Jeff Stec. He is the owner, founder, strategy maker at Ericka Marketing Systems. He's going to correct me if I pronounced that wrong later. Ericka Marketing Systems. You guys, we're going to put that in the chat. We're going to put a link to the website right in the chat so you can grab the link. Tylerica, Ericka Marketing Systems. Okay, how many of you out there watching are, business owners, entrepreneurs, and you need to market your business? You know that that's how you get the word out, but you don't even really know how to get started. I know I need a website. I've heard these terms like SEO, whatever. We had Coach Joe Austin on, last week, and we were talking about all the different ways that you can increase your profits. And marketing is a big piece of that. What do we do? What are the best avenues? There's 1,000 different ways to market your business, guys, but what is going to be the best way for you in your business? But also, how are you going to get the most bang for your marketing dollars? And what if you don't have the bandwidth to do it yourself? Who do you hire? Do you hire an outsourced person? Do you get somebody, somebody's daughter who's just really good on Facebook? I don't know. That sounds like a terrible idea to me, but Jeff is probably going to have a better idea, you guys. So without any more delay, Jeff Stec, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Ericka. Thanks for having me here.
Heck yeah. Okay, so did I pronounce Ericka correctly?
You did.
Okay.
You did. It's named after my kids, Tyler and Ericka. I know from your perspective, Ericka is spelled wrong, but hey.
We'll forgive it this one time. No, I'm just kidding. It's all spelled correctly. Anybody named Ericka has to be cool, is all I know. So I know Absolutely. That your daughter is obviously cool, and I don't even have to know her. So let's get started. Why don't you share with our audience a little bit about your background and what has you so passionate about marketing and helping small businesses?
Yeah, I'll have to do the real abbreviated
yes.
Origin story because
it's only a 30-minute podcast, so we gotta.
I joke that I'm on career 3.0, and I can't hold a job, but I started in the high-tech world. I was a chip designer working in the cube, designing microprocessors, and then I moved to a software company. That was my exposure to the outside of the world, to sales, to customer support, to working on more than just the one thing that I, had my blinders on about. And then became a refugee from the high-tech world post Y2K, read that, laid off, and decided, what am I going to do next? And my wife and I actually bought into a house painting franchise. So what? I know more about paint than you probably ever want to know.
Hold on, wait, Jeff. I need to get my house painted. Can I hire you for that too?
I can recommend some really good companies. Yeah, it's it sounds so simple. Oh, it's just paint, but it is very complicated. And not only that, there's the running the business part of it, which is the classical example of a baker bakes a great cake. What do they know about running a bakery, right?
That's right.
There's a whole lot you have to learn when you get into business. And even though I came out of the high-tech world and I had consultative background, I had management background, running a small business was a real eye-opener. I had a lot of learning to do. And even though it was part of a franchise system, a lot of franchises, it's like, here's the name, don't screw it up, and send us a royalty
Good
check. You're on
luck.
your own. Go get it,
Yep.
Tiger. So I had to
Yep.
figure out marketing. Started doing a lot of self study and came
Mm.
across this book, which I think you've gotten the title. You've got me billed as a duct tape marketing
Yes.
consultant. So there's a book I highly recommend. The author's name is John Jantz, and the title of the book is just Duct Tape Marketing. Duct tape is a great metaphor for marketing, right? You want something that's very utilitarian, does what you need it to do, works in a
Yes.
variety of use cases, and sticks, right? And that's what marketing should be. And as a former engineer, the thing that really drew me to duct tape marketing was that it was very systems oriented. You
Yeah.
get to, put a lot of moving parts together and build things. So fast forward to when it was time to get out of the house painting business,
Yeah. Just so you guys,
and
here's that
then
book.
that's the one.
Okay.
When it was time to get out of the house painting business, it's like, well, okay, what's the next chapter? And I knew I wanted to do something helping business owners. Again, consultative background, management background, now small
Mm.
business owner background, and decided to do it specifically through marketing. So we actually overlapped our house painting business with our agency a few years.
Yeah.
And then went all in, oh gosh, probably about 9 years ago now, full time on the marketing agency and fractional CMO, Chief Marketing Officer services, which I guess we can get to in a little bit. But yeah, that's the quick origin story.
Yeah, I love it. Well, and that is one of the questions that I really wanted to talk to you about today. When we first met, and just so you guys know, randomly, you guys have to understand, Jeff and I went to a networking event together, not knowing each other, right? We both went to this
Right.
networking event, and then we start chit-chatting, and I think I said something about Vermont, and you cued on that, so Jeff and I, both Vermonters, meeting randomly at a networking event in Georgetown, Texas. It was very delightful. Um, and when we met, I was feeling very frustrated because I had hired a couple of coaches who were supposed to help me do this, that, and the third, some marketing people, and I really wasn't getting the outcomes I was expecting. And I don't remember if said it or somebody else, but it was basically like, well, did you hire a person who said that they were good at the thing that you wanted? Were you sure that they were the right professional for the job? I think was essentially the question you asked me. And the answer was no. That was the reality. And I had to really eat that. I was like, no, you know what? I didn't, because I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing, and I just wanted somebody who would take it over for me. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you work with businesses to figure out, is it digital? Is it Google? Is it mail-ins? Like, how do you help businesses determine the best marketing strategy for them?
Yeah, that's and you said the keyword strategy. It's strategy first, and
Yeah.
the problem with a lot of agencies, a lot of so-called digital marketers, digital marketing is not all marketing, right? There's a
Mm,
lot of things that you
yeah,
can and should do. We met at a networking event. That was, you know, getting ourselves out there and meeting people and
that's right.
and getting the introductions that lead to things like this, right?
Yes.
There is stuff that you can put in print. There's mail outs that you can do. You mentioned so digital marketing is not all marketing. Of course, in the current era, it's something that you can do very immediately, very quickly, and get
Mm,
the analytics. You start get a feel for how it's working, but it's not all marketing. But the
yeah.
problem is a lot of marketers. I kind of was talking to another colleague a few months ago, and I occurred to me that digital marketers are the realtors of the 21st century. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to badmouth realtors, but
But
20, 30 years ago,
everybody knows a realtor, your mom, your uncle, your sister, your brother, your cousin. Everybody's a
yeah,
real
and
estate agent.
everybody's like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. I'll be a realtor. Well, now it's like, if you're good with social media, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'll be a digital marketer. And you might be great at social media, but are you good at website design? Are you good at
Mm,
email? Are you good at print design? Are you good at strategy? Right. And it all starts with having a great strategy. And
that's
then
right.
you build outward from there. The strategy dictates all the things you do to reach the target market and tell them what you want to tell them. So, yeah,
And
you got to start there.
and how, I mean, how often is it that you can use a cookie cutter approach to businesses across, and maybe can you streamline it across industries, or is every business really a different animal that you kind of have to figure out?
Yeah, in a short question, there's a lot in there, a lot packed in there, right? If you look at the fundamentals of marketing, one of the things that I do when I give talks is I'll use a print ad that
Mm.
goes through, it's a grumpy old man in the chair ad. You can look it up on Google. It's, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you stand for. I don't know who your customers are. I don't know your reputation. Now, what do you want to sell me? And that ad is from the 50s,
Oh, wow.
1957, I want to say, is before we were
Oh,
born. And all of those questions and all those principles hold as true today as they did then. Yeah, that's it. That's the grumpy old man in the chair ad. And it's just how we do it that's a little different. And the immediacy, how fast we
yeah.
can, get things out and get results. In that era, you're talking a print ad, you're probably setting it up at least 30, if not 60 days in advance, and you're waiting for circulation, you're waiting for response. And now, I mean, we can throw an ad up in the afternoon and have the phone ring.
Yeah.
So it's changed how we do it, but the principles have stayed the same.
That is
But as far
that.
as
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
Finish. No, go ahead.
As I say, as far as there being a cookie cutter approach, there are kind of templates, if you will, but different businesses need different things.
Mm.
I worked for 5 years with a medical software company, and what worked for them is not going to work for a plumber. Right? Plumbers are very immediate. I've
Mm.
got a leak. I need emergency service right now,
Yeah.
and you're googling it and you're finding the local search. But a medical software company, I can guarantee you, CEOs of hospitals aren't sitting around doing Google searches, for medical software. It's different the approaches you're going to use. However, within certain types of businesses, there are the standard things that are the ones we're going to look at first and will
Yeah.
probably work. Now, the results, that's the other question I get. What's my ROI going to be? Right? Get back to let's talk about loving your money, right? We
Yes,
want to be good stewards of our
that's
clients'
right.
money and get them a good return. And I always gets the what's my ROI going to be question. And that's
Yeah.
really hard to answer because I haven't marketed your exact business in this exact marketplace today,
Mm.
right? There's a lot of variables. So we can set general expectations, but there is a certain amount of we got to get into it and try some things and see what sticks. Again, the metaphor, duct tape, right? And
Yeah.
then adapt and keep going. And whatever works this year might not work next year, and things that failed last year might be
Mm.
great this year. So it's a constant, process.
So, if would you find, because in today's day and age, when everyone wants immediate results, they want it yesterday, they want now. Are you finding, because I imagine any real marketing campaign to be effective is going to be more than just some Google ads or some Facebook ads. It's going to be, because I think, what was it Coach Joe said, like 9 touches now, I think it is. I think back in the
Oh, at
day,
the
I used to
minimum,
be
yeah.
that it used to be like 5 touches or something like that. Now it's 9. So if people have to see your name 9 times before they're willing to buy, if only 1 to 3% of your target market is buying at any given time, you
Hmm.
have to be, it seems like you kind of have to be in a lot of different places.
Yeah, and with different intents. We talk about the
Mm,
the so-called marketing funnel. When you start the
yeah.
top of the funnel, you're very, very broad. It's really brand awareness.
Yeah.
You're just getting the name out there. And then the middle of the funnel is when, people kind of have a feel for who you are, but they're not sure they want to do business with you. You've got to build the credibility and the trust. And the bottom of the funnel is when they make a decision, they decide to do business. And at different levels of the funnel, there's
Yeah.
different approaches, different places you're going to go, different things you're going to say. So that's part of building a marketing system. And those number of touches by it for some businesses, we're seeing as many as 50 now.
What?
Um, yeah, it's
Wait,
crazy. I think
what?
the auto industry for sure is high. It's just we're being bombarded with information from so many
Is
different
that it?
directions.
Is it because
Yeah.
there's now just like so much more that now in order to get through the noise, essentially,
Hmm.
you have to work that much harder.
Yeah, we build up an immunity to it, right? So it takes more to cut
Mm.
through. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, speaking of cutting through, we I'm looking on your Facebook page, okay? And I see, hold on, let me share the screen. Hang on one second. Oh, now you're just going to be weird as I try to go share my screen. Cut it out. Don't be weird.
Love technology, huh?
Here we go. We discuss how AI is going to change marketing for the small business. I got to tell you, Benjamin, my husband, he's like, "Oh, Ericka, look at this new tool I found. Hey, Ericka, look at this new thing that we're using and we can access." And I was like, "Man, this is gonna relieve people of their jobs." And so
Hmm.
I'm going as a marketing person, right? Like, so everybody, first of all, go check out this conversation. No, leave me alone, YouTube. Here, I'll put this in the chat for people too. But what I'm hearing a lot of people say is that yes, it's probably basically it's going to remove the low level entry level designer positions essentially, but that people like you who are more experienced are going to be able to utilize these tools to do more cooler, sexier, faster stuff. Now,
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
marketing person, would you say that, or is that just what other people are saying for the
No,
rest of us?
absolutely. You're right on. I had, somebody I've known for at least a decade, asked me at a networking event, he said, "Do you think AI is cheating?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. Is a calculator cheating?" He used to be in the mortgage business, so yeah, really hit him home. And he
Mm,
goes, "I never thought of it that way." But the point is, it's a tool, right?
yeah,
And if you use it appropriately, it can give you great benefits and make it more efficiency. I guess, the roofer, we have a roofer for a client,
yeah.
the analogy would be, well, when they came out with power nailers, did that make putting a roof on faster? Right? It's an efficiency. Now, yeah, you got to be trained. You got to know how to use
Mm.
a power nailer and how to use it properly, but it's just a tool. It
Well,
can be
that's
used
like
inappropriately. It can be used for great benefit.
exactly. Well, that's just like QuickBooks, um, which is marketed as, intuitive for small businesses. No, that is a tool for accountants to use for small businesses. It's not, it is not meant for you to use.
Hmm.
And so to me, a lot of times what we're talking about is we're eliminating entry level positions, or we're eliminating some of those things that people used to do that didn't necessarily need an education or didn't need to, whatever. You could start at a job at the entry level not knowing anything, and these were the tasks that you did, and now AI is doing it.
Hmm.
So
A great way to look at go ahead.
no, 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 go ahead.
To say a great way to look at it is it kind of raises the level, right? And
Mm,
Julia McCoy used to live up in Georgetown. She had a very highly successful writing agency called Express Writers. She sold it. She's all in on AI now.
yeah.
But she said it best. She said, um, "AI is making writers editors. You can use the AI to
Mm,
do the drafts, but you still got to do the editing." John Jantz, Duct Marketing, talks about needing to provide the context for the AI to operate out of, and
yeah,
to do the human, still put the human touch on it. So
yeah.
people that just go to Chat GPT and say, "I'm going to let Chat GPT do everything for me," they're going to get stuff that looks like everybody else who's just going to Chat GPT and
Well,
asking for
and
something.
oh, Jeff, I'm gonna confess something. My audience, you guys, you have to know, Erica Reddick sometimes makes mistakes. I know it's hard to believe,
It's called learning.
but I used AI to help with my book come up with a title, right? I don't know what to call it. And so AI came up with a title. Well, I didn't Google it after to
Mm.
discover that someone had a website called my book. So now I either have to deal with the fact that I'm going to have competing marketing with a different business that has the same name
Mm.
and almost the same looking freaking marketing like branding, or I have to rename my book. And so ChatGPT, and then we got back onto ChatGPT, and one came up, and it's I'm not swearing. Okay, I'm not about to swear, but what I'm about to say sounds like a swear. One of the suggestions was holy sheets, like spreadsheets or whatever.
Yep.
And I was like, that is hysterical. But, I learned my lesson. I Googled it. That's already a thing. So, you guys, you have to remember AI is drawing from all of its experience, the good, the bad, the garbage, all of it. It's
Hmm.
pulling from things that already exist. So, you could easily be plagiarizing or anything if you just take it for granted.
Yeah, if you are a baker, for instance, and you just go to ChatGPT and say, write a blog article about baking a cake,
Yeah.
you're going to get essentially the same article, a little bit different wording, but essentially the same article as the other 100 bakers that went to ChatGPT and said, write a blog article about baking a cake.
Yes.
You've got to put your experience and what
Yes.
you do, your secret sauce, what makes you unique and special has got to come through. And that's where the AI, you can train it to help with some of that
Yeah.
if you understand it, how to train it.
Yeah.
But at the very least, you got to take what it gives you and then, like I said, treat it as a first draft and then start modifying it.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly.
and
All right.
the challenge is things have gotten really, really complicated in the current era across marketing in general, across anything in life. But there's just so much to keep up with, so many moving parts.
So, what would you say of all of the different? Because if we look at your website, for example, hold on, let me pull this back up. So, if we're looking at your website, what we do, first of all, you've got the search engine, the website, the normal stuff, or some stuff we
Hmm.
would expect to see. I love these packages, virtual marketing department. Yes, please. So you offer a bunch of different services. What would you say is like is the thing that y'all do the best? What really gets you jazzed and what's your specialty?
Yeah, it's really two part. It's the outsourced marketing because things are so complicated and there are so many moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the business owners don't necessarily want to. I can't tell you how many business owners, when I describe what it takes to market a business, they go, "Well, I don't want to do all that." Well, that's
It's
why
a
we exist. We can
job.
do it for you.
Yeah,
I
it's a
mean, one
whole
of the things we
job.
could do, we could train you, and in fact, we do have some training and
Yeah.
coaching, consulting things we can do. But
Okay.
most businesses are like, yeah, okay, now I understand it. I can't do it. Can you do it for me? So the outsource services, and really, it is a package of services, a marketing system, multi tactics working together. But those tactics have to be informed by strategy. So that's the second thing we do that a lot of marketing firms won't necessarily do is they'll really want to stop and dig into the strategy.
Yeah.
And it sounds basic. It's who do you want to reach? Describe them as
Yeah.
fully as possible. What do you want to tell them? It's different from what everyone else is telling them. And what do you want them to do?
Yeah.
That's marketing 101.
I love it. I love it. So you guys, you definitely have to go check out Jeff's website. They've got tons of stuff, tons of different things that you can hire them to do. Excuse me. You know me, I say all the time. I say it all the time, and this is as a bookkeeper, right? As a person who owns a bookkeeping business. Excuse me. Farm out the stuff, delegate the things that you are not good at or don't understand or just take up a bunch of your time that could be better spent running your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is it more worthwhile for me to go figure out how to do Jeff's job or hire Jeff to do Jeff's job so I can train and hire more bookkeepers and get and do accounting and you know do that kind of thing? Where is my time better spent? Where's the value better spent in my business? And so it seems like you are like, we're kind of your outsourced accounting department. You're the outsourced marketing department.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say there's any part of the system that you like over the last few years? Okay, this is your, let's ask this. This is a great question. Okay, you ready? What
Bring it
new
on.
developments in the last few years do you think are terrible? Like, what is a trend you're seeing in marketing that you're like, oh my God, everyone needs to stop doing this right now?
Yeah. So, well, the misuse of AI is the newest one,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's leading to a lot of garbage being out there. Um, I mean, truly it is. And pretty much anything, I went to a marketing talk down at the Capitol Factory once, and it was a
Yeah.
guy who was billed as being one of the original Mad Men. You remember the old TV show?
Yeah.
I mean, probably at the time he was 70 and he had like 50 years of experience in marketing. And something he said stuck with me. And he said, there is no form of marketing that won't work. It's just a matter of how long it'll take and how much you want to spend. So the trick is finding the things that get quicker results and are more cost effective.
Okay.
And it really is, I think there are certain things that they may work or they used to work and people dive into them, but they dive into them the old fashioned way. And that's not the way they're going to work in today's environment. I'm thinking, email, we're doing some cold email outreach right now.
Yeah.
It has a place. Cold calling has a place. So a lot of people would say, oh, that doesn't work anymore. Well, it probably doesn't work anymore because everyone's doing it the same way and we're being inundated by the wrong way. And if you can do what's called a pattern interrupt and find a way to break through and get somebody's attention, it can still work.
Okay.
So I think
we
repeating
are,
things that don't work.
yeah. Well, I love that. What did you call the interrupt? What did you call it?
Pattern interrupt. Yep.
Pattern interrupt. Say more about that.
Oh, I'll give you a great example. So when we were in our house painting business, we used to go to home shows and things like that. And we printed up some 3x5 recipe cards.
Oh.
We had 3 of them. And I would stand out in the aisle as people were walking by the aisle. I'd say, do you like salmon? And people kind of look at me funny and keep walking. And I'd say, do you like chicken? And they say, no, not really. And they keep walking. I go, how about those glazed nuts? Do you like those candied nuts? And they'd finally stop and go, okay, what are you talking about? And they come over and talk to me, right? And I'd say, we got some great recipes on this recipe card. And I'd flip it over, and on the back was our marketing advertisement for the business. And I'd say, so put this in your recipe box, and the next time you need a painter, think of going and looking in your recipe box. That's a pattern interrupt. It's not the typical way of getting people's attention or thinking of things.
I love that. Okay. So pattern interrupt could be either maybe like your pitch, some of your advertising materials, just the kind of the way that you're communicating with people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is so neat.
Yeah, you got to be different. You got to be, catch people's attention in a unique way, but it's still got to tap in and appeal to what they're looking for.
Yeah.
You can't just be totally out there. How many, we just had the Super Bowl and there was a lot of good ads and there were some pretty bad ads, but how many ads did you see that afterward you go, oh, that was a clever ad. They did this, that, and the other thing. And then somebody says, well, who was it? And you go, I don't know.
Right.
That's not very effective, right?
No.
It got somebody's attention, but it didn't tap into it in a way that was effective.
Jeff, the most annoying thing, okay, I'll have I'm cooking dinner or whatever. I've got YouTube on in the background. I'm watching my shows on the YouTubes, and I don't know what that was outside, but it totally distracted me from what I was saying. Oh, advertisements with no words. Y'all, yo, I've got my phone over here. I'm chopping my vegetables. I'm cooking up my meat. I'm doing whatever. You think I'm going to stop and go across the room and look at my phone and see what it says on the screen? Who are these? Why? Why would you have an audio visual advertisement that you don't have words in? So it'll happen. It'll just be like, it'll play some music and then it ends. And I'm like, well, that was a waste of money.
Yeah, the only way I can think of it is because you're expecting words, and if there aren't any, you look over. But like you said, if it's in the background, that's not going to be very effective.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go do that.
Yeah.
So you guys need to hire Jeff instead of whatever dummies made those videos. They were terrible. They were absolutely terrible. So that's if I was going to say if there's a trend. Oh, and text marketing. I don't like getting texts, Jeff.
But here's what I tell people. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean somebody else might. So that's one of the cautions I give business owners.
Okay, that's fair.
It get into your ideal clients' heads, right? Who are the people you want to attract, and how do they think of things? And like I've got somebody who told me, oh, TikTok, I don't want to. It's another marketer said, I don't even want to do anything with TikTok. TikTok is for clowns. But if you're trying to reach 13 to 21-year-olds, you probably need to be on TikTok, right? Even if it is for clowns, that's where they're spending time. So you can't say, oh, I hate that, I'm never going to do it, because you got to get in your ideal clients' heads and think, what do they pay attention to? Now, your example, they may not have mattered for them, text, but for some businesses it does.
Well, and that's interesting that you say that, because literally, I've had conversations with people and they say, well, where are your ideal clients? And I said, they're probably not really watching YouTube videos. They're probably not really scrolling on Facebook. High earning, large construction businesses. You know what I mean? Like the CEO of that company, where do I get him? A text message may be the only way, because that dude's not checking his own email. He's probably not on social media. Maybe not. But did I already talk myself into doing something
offline.
different?
It may be a networking or joining a business group where they're hanging out or something. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Again, not everything's online these days, but
Yes.
online is quick and easy. So that's why
But
you hear about it a lot.
But I think the point is that we're making is that there's so many different opportunities. And so having a person that can help you, a marketing coach, consultant, outsourced marketing person, Jeff, can help businesses basically determine how do we, maximize our strengths, minimize our weaknesses, work with what we have, and then build out a strategy from there.
Right. Right. And the strategy informs everything else. If you just rush into a website, if you just start dumping ads out there, it's just not going to be as effective as it can. So really, really knowing those three elements of strategy: who's the ideal client you want to reach, or clients. Most businesses have somewhere between 3 and 6. We call them personas.
Yeah.
What's your unique selling proposition, your unique brand, your unique messaging? What do you want
Yep.
to tell them that's different from whatever else is telling them? And what action do you want them to take? Those 3 things, if you do that first and then use that to inform everything else, you can be a lot more effective in your marketing.
I love it. I love it. All right. Jeff Stec with Ericka Marketing Systems. Thank you so much for joining us today, for sharing your
my
wisdom
pleasure.
and expertise.
My
Yeah.
pleasure. Wow, this half hour went fast.
I know, doesn't it? It goes by so fast, you guys. Okay, so check out Jeff. We put a link to his website, his Facebook page, the interview he did on AI. Go check out that stuff. And if you need a marketing person, y'all, you need to hire him. And as we exit, y'all, let's watch a commercial for my book, Audit Armor, which might be named something different with a new commercial at some point in the near future. But here it is. All right, you guys, we'll see you next week. Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ericka Reddick. I'm a fractional CFO and also known as the Fixer. So if you are a small business owner and you're trying to understand your finances, or you're an entrepreneur and you know that you need to understand some things before you get started, Audit Armor, Fortifying Your Financials is an excellent book for you. Grab your copy today, grab the freebies, and make sure to stay tuned because we've got some great webinars and other things for you.